Remember to click like, subscribe, the bell notification, and whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us.
Welcome, you members of Thorn. I am the Kaiju no Kami, and tonight I will be your tour guide around our lovely new... What?
Thorn is not in this movie. Are you sure? Son of a bitch! After the poor reception of Halloween 3, Moustapha Akkad purchased the rights of the franchise from creators John Carpenter and Deborah Hill so he could return the franchise to its roots, aka doing what every horror sequel does and remake the first movie again, just with different skins. Characters. This in turn meant that a man named Twilight H. Little would direct it rather than Carpenter. Additionally, this movie was being made as a writer's strike was emerging in 1988, so it had to be written within 11 days. Which does explain why it did pretty much just rehash the original Halloween, but whatever. Oh, and this is kind of cool. A couple years ago I was in Salt Lake City for a convention and visited a few of the sites from this movie. It was pretty cool. Well, with that said, let's take a look at Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Halloween 4 picks up 10 years after its predecessor, where Michael and Loomis survived their scorching deaths.
A decade ago, Halloween night, he murdered 16 people. But his doctor, of all people, set him on fire. Both of them nearly burned to death.
Michael.
Both of them nearly burned to death. Nearly burned to death.
Does not compute. Does not compute. Does not compute.
Jesus.
Jesus ain't got nothing to do with this place.
Michael has been in a coma for the last decade and is now going to be picked up by some state paramedics.
First time here, huh?
Hope it's the last time.
You never get used to the faces. Never.
I'm acting!
Just thinking about him gives me the willies.
The Willies. What is this, 1950? They take him away only for him to wake up.
Did Hoffman say anything about living relatives?
A niece living in his hometown.
Resurrection!
Understand?
Hold on a minute. Are you really seriously telling me that he was unconscious, in a coma, for the last 10 years, but the moment they mention that he has a niece, he instantly wakes up and happens to have super strength with it? You know what? I'm just going to go with it. It was written in 11 days. I'm going to keep that in mind. Anyway, from here we meet our main characters, Rachel Carruthers and Laurie Strode's daughter, Jamie Lloyd.
I know you miss your parents. It hasn't been that long.
It's been 11 months.
Ellie Cornell and Daniel Harris portray these two not sisters.
Do you love me, Rachel?
Of course I love you.
Like a sister?
Jamie, sometimes
Like a real sister?
we're not really sisters, Jamie.
I do not find this joke very funny. Burning is no laughing matter. Jamie goes to her room to look at some pictures of her mom. Which I'm not sure how anyone could get a shot of her like that from the first movie, since there were no cameramen around at the time. Unless Michael had a hidden camera, which I guess is possible. Whatever. This scene exists solely so we can have some quick jump scares. The next day, Rachel is told she will have to babysit Jamie that night, which upsets her until Jamie gets upset from it.
Sorry I ruined everything. I wasn't here. You can go out.
I didn't mean it like that. I can go out with Brady tomorrow night. It's no big deal.
It's a very complicated relationship. While all this is happening, we finally get to hear Loomis lament about Michael's transfer, and we witness the first of many different types of scars he has on his face from the fire in the previous movie.
Hoffman, take a good look. I don't want anyone to have to live through that night again.
I'm not kidding either. You could probably actually play a drinking game as to how many times his scar changes throughout the movie. The worst part is that clearly these scenes were not filmed in order, because sometimes the scar will look one way in one scene, be a different way in the next. Then later on in the movie, it will be like it was in a few scenes back, and so forth. Why they kept changing it, I do not know. Did they not pay attention to how they set up the scar in the previous take? Whatever. Let's continue. Of course, they get a call saying there was an accident and Michael's body is missing from the wreckage.
How many bodies did you find?
It's hard to tell. They're all chewed up.
This leaves Loomis in a frenzy as he heads for Haddonfield.
Now where are you going?
Haddonfield. It's a 4-hour drive. If you don't find him in 4 hours, I'm sure I will.
Bottoms up. The first time he finds Michael is at a local gas station.
Michael?
Michael takes off, inadvertently blowing Loomis's car up. Michael Bay would be so proud, leaving the good doctor to hitchhike with a crazy preacher. Oh, but not before being teased by a bunch of frickin' teenagers.
Come on, old man, let's go!
Now I understand why Michael, Jason, and Freddy go after teenagers. Oh, and his scar.
Get it in gear, old man! Reverend Jackson B. Sayer of Dumont County. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Ew. Oh, I do want to point out that actually I did like the shot a few scenes back of Michael and Loomis in the gas station. Yeah, that one was pretty cool. I like the way they did that. Anyway, back in Haddonfield, Jamie is teased by a bunch of little children.
Jamie's uncle's a boogeyman. How come your mommy didn't make you a costume, Jamie? How could you? Her mommy's dead. Jamie's mommy's a mummy. Jamie's an orphan. Jamie's an orphan.
Rachel picks her up and the two go to the local drugstore for her to get a Halloween costume. Rachel also informs her hopeful boyfriend Brady of their dilemma.
When did you find this out?
This morning?
Well, you found out this morning. Well, why didn't you tell me before? I mean, it's 5 o'clock now, Rachel.
What an ass. Michael grabs the cheapest mask possible.
Come to get me, Rachel.
You probably saw a mask and it scared you. Come on, let's go home.
Loomis finally arrives at the police station. Yeah, now it's a party. Where he gives the lowdown to the current sheriff, a man named Ben Meeker, played by Bull Starr.
Michael Myers has escaped from Richmond. He's here in Haddonfield. 10 years ago, he tried to kill Laurie Strode. Now he wants her daughter. Let's go.
Rachel and Jamie are out trick-or-treating when they come to said sheriff's house, where Brady and his rebound girl, Meeker's daughter, are.
You blew off for a date at the last minute.
So you hop on to the next best thing? I thought you were different from other guys.
Oh, I'm different. It's just that I just got pissed off, that's all.
Oh, really?
Rachel storms off in anger, but only after she somehow loses sight of Jamie.
Great, Rachel. Just great.
How did Rachel and Jamie get separated? That is like the most glaring issue I have right now. How did they get separated? They were like 5-10 feet apart from each other. Either way, she finds Jamie before being picked up by Loomis and Meeker.
What's going on?
In the car. Come on, quick.
Is that him? Oh, Christ, Doc.
Hey, don't shoot!
They take the duo to the police station where Michael shorts out the town's power. Hello, my name is Bucky, but you can call me Shocky. The developments this movie is providing are quite shocking. There's no Kamen Rider Black around me, right? Good. What? Moving on, Loomis and Meeker find the police station decimated, which sets off a mob of angry villagers. Only instead of carrying around torches and pitchforks, they are using shotguns and flashlights.
What the Sam Hill is going on?
It was Michael Myers.
Let the police handle it.
Like the last time, we're gonna fry his ass.
Son of a bitch, you just created a lynch mob.
You haven't got a police force!
It does provide for one most hilarious line that everyone seems to quote from this movie just because it sounds so stupid.
Shit, Earl. It's Ted Hollister.
Oh, and you know what else is funny? Hearing Rachel's parents say this when they return home.
Honey, I don't think they're home.
You know they're not home.
Because the lights are all out.
I don't know. Maybe because the town has lost all of its power? Moving forward, Meeker takes the girls to his house, cock-blocking Brady, and the barricade is home after the deputy arrives. Of course, the deputy accidentally brought Michael with him. You seriously don't think anything is wrong considering your car door is now open? Did Ridley Scott write this character? Loomis and Meeker decide they want to live to see the end of the movie, leaving everyone behind to die.
Deputy Logan?
We're all gonna die someday, Lord. We're all gonna die someday.
Loomis reunites with Jamie, heading into the school to provide us with a nice, honest moment.
We'll hear some sirens soon.
Ben will be safe?
Yeah.
You don't believe that, do you?
No.
Haha, love it. We also learn Michael's mask has color-changing applications. Rachel appears to ward off Michael while Earl's mob takes them away from the town.
We have to get out of Haddonfield. The state police are on their way. Let them handle it.
I don't know about you, Earl, but that makes sense to me. Let's get the hell out!
All of this is moot as Michael decides to try out his best Solid Snake impersonation. Presenting the latest Kojima production, Metal Gear Myers. Man, that is one strong arm. You would have never known he was comatose for 10 years. Rachel takes control of the truck, sending Michael into the street as she hits the brake. She then knocks him into the cemetery across the street with the truck. Jamie decides to say hi to her uncle, who tries to slice her up only to be shot to hell by Meeker and the mob. Hey Frankenstein, what's up? All seems fine at the Carruthers house, at least until Jamie tries out her best Michael impersonation. Oh damn, it's over already? I wanted to see Jamie wear a William Shatner mask. Well, maybe the next movie, hopefully. With that said, that is the end of Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. It's not a bad movie. In fact, I kind of consider it to be better than the second one. It has a lot of great atmosphere, especially with the way the film opens and the overall narrative works. It doesn't make sense as to how exactly Loomis and Michael survived, especially since Loomis's scars keep changing in the film to the point where they are pretty much non-existent, but at least it wasn't the work of aliens or some lame cults. Yet. The concept behind Laurie having a child is an interesting way of keeping Michael going after a relative, despite Jamie Lee Curtis clearly being done with the series at this point. Even if it is kind of goofy, fortunately, Danielle Harris does an outstanding job as the character, down to being able to show legitimate fear in her face when necessary. That scene when she is by herself while trying to get away from Michael is hauntingly brilliant. You would think that a deranged killer was actually after her. Donald Pleasance also provides another stellar performance, as you can truly see he enjoyed returning to this role. For being a cheap horror movie, he brings his A game. I wish I could say the same for the rest of the cast. They're not bad, just serviceable. Lackluster characters and death scenes aside, my biggest complaints deal with Michael's overall look. I have no idea what the hell they were thinking, but that mask is atrocious. It looks like he has a fat head. Although, in defense of the character himself, he could only go for the mask they had at the store, so I will forgive him on that end of the spectrum. That doesn't explain the dream sequence Jamie had before he wore that mask though, as it should have been the actual Shatner face, since that is how she would have seen him in pictures. Oh, and then you have that pink mask thing. Thankfully, the music is just as grand here as it is in previous iterations. Alan Holworth returned to helm the score and added in a few of his own bits into an updated version of Carpenter's theme. It works extremely well as it adds so much to the atmosphere provided. Except for the Burning Man aspect and Loomis's scar, Halloween 4 does manage to be a worthy sequel to the original, even if it is not a masterpiece of a film. It keeps it grounded in reality while adding new mythos, at least as grounded as a movie about a superpowered psychopathic killer can be. If you did not like Halloween 1 or 2, you're definitely not going to enjoy this one. If you did like those movies, you should definitely check this one out, as I feel it is actually better than the second one. With that said, let's take one last drink to Loomis's scars. And happy Halloween, everyone! This concludes Halloween month for another year. Until next time, bye.